Test, test. Cool.
Check sound. Check sound as well.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me?
You see?
Hello, hi. Can you hear? Good.
You can.
Okay, so we're starting. Silence now.
Once I do it to start, that's what we play this one.
Recording in progress.
Once I do this, to start.
Scaling Women SMEs Project. My name is Sanjeev Deviprasad, and I am the Director of the Investments Portfolio at the AECF. At the outset, we want to apologize for the delay in starting, as we had to work out a few gremlins in the system and ensure that they don't rear their mischievous heads during this quite important launch. Before I move on, I would like to mention how humbled and proud I am to be launching this project and being able to see women business owners forging their way forward in traditionally male-dominated sectors. And why am I proud to be here at this launch? It is because Nkwanzi can genuinely make a difference, and that difference must be felt. The sad fact is that women-owned businesses, according to the World Bank, are up to 1/3 less profitable than SMEs owned by men, despite women being more entrepreneurial and owning 58% of all MSMEs in sub-Saharan Africa. So why are women-owned businesses less profitable than businesses owned by their male counterparts? The SME Finance Forum succinctly identified 3 thematic constraints. The first, social inequality, where socioeconomic norms such as housework, childcare, and so on impact the potential of women. Then access to finance. 68% of women do not have access to finance to sustain or exploit growth opportunities appropriately. And then thirdly, business development. Running a business is hard, and sadly, due to existing structures and comparatively low levels of educational attainment, women can lack relevant skills to grow their businesses. And that is why we are here today, to inaugurate the Nkwanzi, Scaling Women SME project. Over the next few months, we will be working with you to unlock these 3 constraining factors. Most importantly, the Nkwanzi program is here to invest in the next generation of women-owned businesses and provide the proper support for business owners to scale. That is what AECF does. We invest in people and their businesses to grow the private sector in Africa to alleviate poverty and marginalization. Supporting AECF to deliver the Nkwanzi project is AFDB, who is our primary funder. This project forms part of their innovative Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa program, more commonly known as AFAWA, that was initiated to bridge the $42 billion financing gap for women in Africa. AFAWA deploys 3 solutions, the first being financing solutions, then technical advice delivery, and supporting the enabling environment. Over the program, I hope you can learn, understand, and obtain the support you need to be the next generation of impactful female African business leaders. And looking at the attendees of this call truly gives me confidence in the future of Africa. Each of you is the pathfinder for generations of women after you. And with that, I close my welcoming remarks. I do not doubt that through our Nkwanzi program, you will be provided with the right and tailored support that you need. And this program will be one of many AECF projects that seek to propel female business owners to grow and scale across Africa. And with that, I'd like to invite you to watch a video on how AFAWA's approach challenges the gender gap in access to finance and liberates women's entrepreneurial capacity in Africa. Thank you.
Are key to preparing more Africa's women business leaders to access the financing that can transform African economies. AFAWA is on the lookout for more qualified organizations that focus on training Africa's women entrepreneurs to join the Women Entrepreneurship Enablers Initiative. Have you got what it takes to empower Africa's women-led businesses? Learn more at www. Even though Africa has the highest percentage of women entrepreneurs in the world, there's an estimated $42 billion financing gap for women leaders to grow their businesses. The African Development Bank's Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa initiative, or AFAWA, is helping to close the gap. AFAWA's new Women Entrepreneurship Enablers program organizations Africa's women-led businesses heavy and how to finance through AFAWA's programs. The selected women entrepreneurship enablers receive up to $250 to accelerate their capacity to reach more women entrepreneurs. Let's meet them. Africa Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum, South Africa. Irene Ochen and I assist women-owned small business, providing knowledge, practical skills, resources, and valuable connections with over 2,000 course graduates to date. Entrepreneurium Rwanda. Founder Christine Giriyi and Entrepreneurium operates in 13 African countries. They have supported over 3,000 women entrepreneurs to create more than 12,000 jobs across Africa. Seed Stars Tanzania. CEO Alize Detonak and Seed Stars aim to impact 10 million beneficiaries by 2030 in 25 sub-Saharan countries, mentoring, capacity building, and introductions to Africa, Europe, and the United States. Power South Africa. Director Alessimo Mwanga and Power offer social development and project implementation services. Its goal is to impact 5,000 women businesses. AECF Kenya. Victoria Sabula and AECF work across sub-Saharan Africa, funding agribusiness and renewable energy innovations, aiming to impact 10 million people. Creative Space Startups, Nigeria. Director Grace Oluchi and Creative Space Startups runs an accelerator program targeted at building the capacity of 120 women-led small and medium enterprises in Cameroon and Nigeria. E for Impact, Kenya. Flavian Chamju and E for Impact trains impact-driven entrepreneurs in Africa and Middle East to leverage the growth of their businesses, supporting over 2,000 women entrepreneurs to date. Transformational Business Network Africa, Kenya and Uganda. Jacob Zikusoka and TBN support early and growth stage women entrepreneurs to scale their businesses and aims to help 150 businesses in the year 2022. Grasa Machel Trust, South Africa. CEO Melitza Mugenyi and Grasa Machel Trust ensures that women remain Africa's development top priority, promoting their leadership in the economic, social, and political development of Africa, and has directly impacted 14,665 women entrepreneurs. Women in Africa, Nigeria. Hafsat Abiola and Women in Africa work in all African countries, supporting African women with training and mentoring programs that are determined to impact 30,000 women entrepreneurs by 2024. AFAWA knows partnerships with these women entrepreneurship enablers are key to preparing more of Africa's women business leaders to access the financing that can transform African economies. AFAWA is on the lookout for more qualified organizations that focus on training Africa's women entrepreneurs to join the Women Entrepreneurship Enablers Initiative. Have you got what it takes to empower Africa's women-led businesses? Learn more at www.afdb.org/AFAWA.
The Nkwanzi program today, I wanted to take a few minutes to walk you through what Nkwanzi is about. And of course, you must be wondering, how does this all align to what ACF does? So for the last couple of years, ACF has worked with hundreds of women across the continent. And what we've seen as some of the common themes in what we do is that first, the challenge of access to finance for women starts with a perception perspective, where we realize that there is a high risk in terms of engaging women in businesses. The other thing we've realized is that there's a perception that women-led enterprises or businesses are not quite at the stage where they deserve funding. And the other issue is around capacity, where women businesses are seen not to have the sufficient management capacity. And secondly is lack of financial products that are customized to be able to address the challenges that women businesses face. So as we launch the project today, the Scaling Women SME project is going to be women-focused investment readiness program. And we're launching this for one particular reason, to unlock the potential of women-led enterprises across Africa. And we're going to do this through building the capacity, in terms of the capacity building of on the fundraising, and improving the capacity of women-led businesses to raise capital from financial institutions. And how exactly are we going to do this? We are going to apply an SME-centered mentorship, coaching, investment readiness support program, as well as financial linkages. So as we get into the meat of how exactly the program will be structured, at the onset, we'll expect you to submit an application form. And at the initial stages, we have a two-step application process. So after the initial application, you will have access to an investment readiness screening, which essentially assesses your ability to engage financial institutions, ability to engage investors. After that, we will quickly onboard you into our learning platform, which gives you access to self-directed learning content. And here we expect that over the next couple of weeks, you will be able to run through the content, increase your capacity as a business to engage investors and financial institutions. And then at the tail end of that stage, we will unlock a diagnostic tool. And the diagnostic tool is essentially a way for us to assess, are you ready to progress to the next level? At this particular point, we will then begin to build cohorts of women groups. We have structured it as 10 groups of 10 cohorts of 10 WSMEs. And here we are going to introduce group coaching and mentorship. We've structured an investment readiness bootcamp right at the tail end of it. And this is where you begin to understand what exactly financial institutions are looking for. For the companies, for the women SMEs that actually are able to get through this stage, we will have to, they will have to do a second assessment called the path to fundraise. And for us, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is essentially where we say, what specific areas of the business need to be addressed for you to be able to close that transaction with the financial institutions as well as investors. So I'll just quickly run through what to expect as you go through the self-directed modules. So here we're looking at areas around your business model, areas around your financial viability, your management, your governance capacity, and eventually, have you started putting together the right documents for you to start engaging investors or financial institutions? So this is going to be learning at your own pace, and of course we expect that you will have a laptop or a smartphone that you can be able to use for that purpose. After the diagnostic tool, we will then introduce you to the growth stage. So we expect at least 400 women to go through the launch stage, and as we cascade into the growth stage, we expect at least 100 women SMEs at this level. And this, as I said earlier, will be structured in terms of 10 cohorts, each cohort having 10 women SMEs. And this particular stage will run over a period of 8 weeks, and sessions will include, again, taking the same track of business model and impact, financial viability, management and governance, as well as fundraising material. But as you will see, the level of content, the engagement will be deeper. You will be assigned to coaches and mentors who are supposed to work with you, both as a group and as individuals, to improve your capacity as a business. And lastly, in closing the growth stage, we will have an investment readiness bootcamp. We've run this previously at AECF, but the main objective will be to introduce financial institutions. We want to test at this particular stage, are you able to sustain a conversation? Are you able to present your business in a way that makes it attractive to financial institutions, to investors? And if not, then the coaches and mentors are quickly able to tweak and nuance the business in terms of just getting into that right level. As we transition to the scale stage, where we expect at least 30 women SMEs to get into this stage, it's going to be an intensive process. We estimate at least a month, worst case scenario, maybe 2 months, where you'll be assigned to an individual coach to work on specific areas of the business that have been identified by the financial institutions and investors that will be present at the Investment Readiness Bootcamp to just get your business to that last stage. So if you were to think about the timeline, how it's going to work between today and the 2nd of December, we'll leave the application open. We'll be inviting women SMEs to submit applications. They will be introduced into the learning platform on a rolling basis. It might take a few days as we run through the eligibility criteria as well as the investment readiness screening. But we will leave the launch phase open up to sometime into next year. As you conclude the launch stage and get into doing the business diagnostic tool, we'll start putting together the groups at the beginning of next year, and again run the project around in the is going to be about 2 months. At that point, we'll have already engaged financial institutions, and we're looking at the period between July and December next year to be heavily around engaging financial institutions, negotiating with financial institutions, essentially at the end of the day, to get you the financing that you need for your business. So of course you must be wondering, so who am I? What do I need to be? What do I need to have as a to be able to join this program? So we expect that at least you'll be women-owned, women-led business. If you were to think about it from a shareholder, you've been operating for years, expect that you operate in the 9 years, and just to quickly, we're thinking about Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Kenya, Mali, Tanzania, we have about to be initiatives of agribusiness, energy, financial services, education, water and sanitation, technology, as well as healthcare. So we invite applications from all these countries across all these sectors. And I think 2 last things that I wanted to mention that are crucial for us One is in terms of your financial performance, how much revenue have been able to generate in the last 3 years, and what we're looking at last year or in the current year will have generated of about or even more, but not exceeding $5 million. In terms of how much financing you're seeking, either from financial institutions or from investors, we are looking at a range of $25,000 all the way to $1 million. If it is more than that, of course, we are happy to help you, but we will have to discuss how that exactly looks like. So as I conclude, I would like to just point out, as you hit that application link, this is essentially where you land. So we do look forward to seeing your submissions and look forward to engaging you in the platform. Thank you. So I'll take a moment to just transition into our speakers today. We are joined by 3 fantastic women from the AECF, from the Africa Development Bank for our program, and from the Africa Guarantee Fund. And I'll start off by inviting the CEO of AECF, Victoria Sabula, to quickly give her remarks. And welcome, Victoria.
Thank you, Angela, and good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the launch of Nkwanzi. I especially want to celebrate and appreciate every woman entrepreneur who's joined this launch and to tell you that you're courageous, you're bold, and that this is your time. We at the AECF have been working over the last 30 years to power enterprises across the Sub-Sahara. We've been surfacing high-risk, innovative businesses, business models that have the potential for scale and impact, but struggle to access capital and commercial financials. We specifically do this looking to have private sector to solve today's development challenges because they innovate, they pivot very quickly, and they really understand the types of opportunities that exist in the market, but at the same time balance hopefully the profit and the impact that we actually seek to see as a development community. We have financed so far about 416 businesses across 26 countries. Why is this important? In this time, about 15 to 20% of our portfolio actually represents women-owned businesses. And we see particular patterns, and some of these patterns include women self-selecting themselves out of the application or credit process. We see some women enterprises struggling with technical capabilities, whether it is matters financial management, whether it is matters human capital. We see their struggle to just package their business and be able to present that to sophisticated investors who want to hear about financial models. They want to hear about your clear strategies. They want to hear about your marketing options and strategy and all of that. We've seen these gaps and we've thought, where really is the opportunity to support the women? And hence Nkwanzi, which is really under AFDB's AFAWA's program. And AFAWA really was put together a few years ago, and it's really all about empowering women entrepreneurs across the Sub-Sahara with capital, because they continue to be discriminated over and over. When you look at Sub-Sahara Africa, or Africa just in general, their women actually are the most entrepreneur. They participate the most. But guess what? They're the ones that are most excluded when it comes to mainstream financiers. This opportunity is really going to look at readying the women businesses for commercial capital. It is saying that there is so much that has since been mobilized because of the call that has gone out over the last few years around we need to invest more in women and women-led businesses. But do we have the pipeline? And Nkwanzi is going to empower us as women-led and women-owned businesses to know better about the potential of our business, to know better about what we need to put in place in order for investors to be eager to invest in our businesses. I do hope that as many women entrepreneurs will be able to apply. We are targeting, as Sanjeev and my colleague Sanjeev and Angela has mentioned, we are targeting to support 400 women-led businesses through the early stage of the launch, and just get through self-directed learning, and then thereafter actually progress with different cohorts into the last stage where there will be money in the bank for women-led businesses, and then we really get to see you scale and get to grow and be able to be as impactful as has been intended by yourself and your support community that are, you know, also counting on the growth of your business. I will end with a quote which has my own variation from the most recent book of Bill Gates, which is on preparing for the next pandemic. And he said that innovative products and services are most useful and meaningful when they reach the most deserving. We think that innovations like this in terms of projects and programs, when AECF and AFDB and Africa Guarantee Fund come together to actually support women-led and women-owned businesses that have been excluded for the longest time, is actually about remembering that women are most deserving because they are as smart, they are as great as their male counterparts, but society has continued to put a barrier after another, holding them back. With Nkwanzi, there will be no holding back. It's just forging forward with, again, real capital in the bank for purposes of your growth. I look forward to seeing you at the growth stage of the Nkwanzi program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria. And I'll quickly hand it over to Susan Oko from the Africa Development Bank. She is the Principal Officer in East Africa. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Angelo. On behalf of the Africa Development Bank, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be invited to this launch of the Nkwanzi Scaling Women SME project. As Angela said, my name is Susan Oko, and I am a Principal Officer for the Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa, also known as AFAWA, at the Africa Development Bank. And today I represent Alex Araya, who is the Project Manager and is attending virtually. The Africa Development Bank started implementation of the AFAWA program in 2021, and through this initiative, the bank plans to unlock up to $5 billion USD in new financing for women SMEs across Africa by 2026. We're doing this through the AFAWA Guarantee for Growth program, and this is in partnership with the Africa Guarantee Fund, where AFDB is helping to de-risk women-led businesses and also to incentivize financial institutions to increase lending to women. We're also utilizing our traditional instruments such as lines of credits, equities, trade finance to ensure that there is a carve-out allocated to women SMEs with our partner financial institutions in the continent. AFAWA also offers a technical assistance or advisory program to partner financial institutions. And this is really to build their capacities to support women SMEs and also to provide tailored products and services, and also, to support the types of businesses that women run and provide capacity building to these women SMEs. AFAWA also works to ensure that we have a conducive overall business enabling environment for women SMEs. We do this by working with supporting policy dialogues to address women's property rights, legal status, and essentially all of those structural barriers that prevent women's participation in their economy and to increase their social and political empowerment. In addition, the Africa Development Bank will also to continue engaging governments and regulators on expanding the modes of collateral that are beyond land, the traditional collateral requirements, to ensure that women have easy access to finance. Also, most recently, at the recently completed World Bank and IMF annual meetings on the sidelines, together with our partner, the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, the Africa Development Bank hosted a round-table dinner with finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss best practices and ways to accelerate financial inclusion for women. We are proud to say that we are steadfastly progressing with implementation of the AFAWA program, and to date, Since September, the African Development Bank has approved over $800 million to partnering financial institutions on the continent. And this is all for the purpose of lending to women SMEs. And we can say that we have totally lent up to we can totally say that up to 3,500 women have received financing. To enhance the capacity of organizations that are developing the entrepreneurial ecosystems for women, in 2021, Africa Development Bank launched the first AFAWA Women Entrepreneurship Enablers Call for Proposal. Here, $2.5 million in grants is being provided to the 10 top women business associations, incubators, accelerators, and such like organizations, including AECF. And this is all to strengthen the capacity in supporting women entrepreneurs alongside financial institutions and governments in the 26 African countries. This program is expected to impact 16,000 women SMEs. We've also just recently launched our second call for proposal, and we're expecting over, as many as, would be able to register to participate in the second call. And so therefore, Africa Development Bank and AFAWA are very excited to partner with AECF and to participate in this momentous Nkwanzi launch. Together with supporting partners like AGF, this partnership aims to increase financial inclusion for women-led businesses across our countries of focus. We therefore commend the management and staff of AECF, including our donors, in setting up the Nkwanzi platform that will provide dedicated training and capacity building to the participating women SMEs. This platform should provide the spring in growing a sustainable and scalable program to reach as many women SMEs as possible in the different countries that AECF is covering. And so in conclusion, I would like to use this opportunity to call on women entrepreneurs in the countries of focus to apply to join this program and access financing opportunities to grow their program. Because when women win, Africa wins. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your audience. Asante Nisana.
Thank you very much, Susan. And next, I'd like to call on Nishti, who is the head of Structured Finance and Products at the Africa Guarantee Fund. Welcome, Nishti.
Thank you, Angeles. It's my pleasure to be here today at the launch of the Nkwanzi Scaling Women SMEs program launch. It is my pleasure to be part of the launch and to be associated with the AECF on a very honorable and significant program launch. So as my colleague had said, my name is Nishdeep Sethi, and I am the head of structured finance at the African Guarantee Fund, AGF. To tell you just a little bit about the African Guarantee Fund, we are a non-bank financial institution whose objective is to promote economic development, increase employment, and to overall reduce poverty within Africa. We do this by providing financial guarantees to financial institutions and also capacity development to stimulate financing amongst Africa's small and medium-sized enterprises. We currently have partnerships with over 100 financial institutions across Africa. We're present in over 40 countries, and we have supported over 25,000 SMEs to access finance from financial institutions, of which 30% are women-owned and led. For us at AGF, we recognize the importance of having women SMEs and women entrepreneurs as economic drivers and real, very significant for economic growth and economic development within the African continent. We therefore have dedicated support to women SMEs, including partnering with the African Bank in 2020 on the program, Action for Women. And I think we've talked a lot about the AFAWA program. I will talk about within the program, and my colleague Susan, our main pillar is to work on the pillar of financial access, and we work very closely with financial institutions to provide partial credit guarantees to allow them to lend further to to women SMEs. We work also to provide capacity development to the financial institutions to ensure that the banking or the financial products and services that they are offering are relevant to the market and to the audience of the women SMEs. So we work closely with financial institutions, and as has been said, financial access is one of the key challenges for women entrepreneurs. And within the financial access issue, there is more a demand side and a supply side problem. If we look at from the demand side, or we look at, let's say, the supply side being the financial products and services that are out there in the markets. At the moment, what we do is we work on the supply side very closely to ensure that the financial institutions have the capacity for addressing this market needs. So we look at financial products, we look at the financial services to ensure that they're meeting the needs of the women entrepreneurs. On the demand side, as Victoria had said earlier, women SMEs tend to sort of self-select themselves out of the market, and this is a lot to do with gaps within skills, information, a lot to what my colleague Angeles had.
Would like to invite, we're getting to the fun part, I would like to invite our CEO, Victoria Sabula, to come back on screen and officiate the launch of Nkwanzi. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you, Angelos, and really just to say thank you for our partners, because without you there is nothing that we could actually achieve as AECF. We are always the people who are right on the ground with the entrepreneurs, and without resources, without your support, we couldn't do it. And for the reason of post-2019 period, the pomp and color has now, taken a different form, and so I just declare the Nkwanzi program under AFAWA launched and open for applications.
Thank you very much, Victoria. And I think what we thought would be most appropriate is for you to begin to see what exactly does it look like to work with AECF? So we have invited some of the women we've been working with over the last couple of years, and we wanted them to come on screen and share their perspective of their experience of working with. I'd like to invite Alem Gebru. She is the CEO of Modified Electromechanical Systems and Solutions PLC from Ethiopia to quickly give her remarks. Welcome, Alem.
Thank you very much, Angelos. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alem.
Thank you
Please
very
go
much.
ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to express my gratitude to CF for allowing me to share my experience and the lesson which I learned while working with ECF. I'm really honored to be part of this session. My name is Alem. I am the general manager and the founder of Modified Electromechanical System and Solution PLC. I am an electrical engineer in profession and I have 15 years of experience. Modifying is based in Ethiopia and established in 2003. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Alem. Please continue.
Yeah. So we have been in the business for the last 11 years. So we provide electrical system design, installation works, and material supplies. And in 2009, while noticing that most of the Ethiopian population lives in lack of electricity, we diversified our business to the solar sector. So in 2020, we applied to the React SSA program competition, and luckily we were able to get the chance to work with the ECF. So for the past 3 years, to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alem, and we do appreciate you coming online and just giving your comments. I think next I'd like to move on to one of our investees based out of Burkina Faso, Kadidia to
Angelas, we can't hear you.
Sorry for that. Next, I'd like to invite our investee who's based out of Burkina Faso, that is Kadidia to Hazebrook. She is the Managing Director of Energy and Services. Kadidia to, please welcome, and we look forward to your remarks.
Good morning, Angelos. Good morning, everyone. I also say good morning to the CEO of IMF. As It's a real pleasure for me to get that opportunity to speak this morning on this platform. My name is Khadijatu Isbrook. I have also benefited from ICF through the project React AP in Burkina Faso. And since 2018, I have been in contact with ICF, and I have received a lot of knowledge through that institution. ICF has make a lot of work with us, technical support, a lot of opportunity to learn, to make contacts, and a lot that we personally have received from ICF. And I want here to particularly thank the CEO of ICF, because she trusts in women, and you can see it as soon you hear her, you can feel it, and it's very encouraging to me particularly. So thank you very much. And concerning this new program that you are on the way, you have launched this morning, my case is particularly sizing in this kind of program. Energy and services have been created in 2012. And since that, one of my biggest challenge was the financing, because I'm an electrical engineer. I know how to build solutions. I can touch the problem on business, women businesses, agriculture, houses, offices. I can build up solution. I can provide good solution and even work to make it accessible. But most of the time, financing has been the biggest challenge that I had in my business. And when we get in contact with the project React EP, we get a kind of energy to take more risk, to go more, and we can see a very big growth in my company through that's the importance that this support has brought to us. So what I also can say is that as a woman, when I get that financing, I could expand the company. From one office, now we reach to 3 offices where we operate in Burkina Faso, and we also succeed to be able and to take the risk to have our own workshop where we can prepare our works and prepare the installation all over the country. And I also want to say here that when I reach to a financing, I can develop the value that I have in my company through the solutions for women, for agriculture, for industries, for offices, and we work via quality spirit, and innovations, performance, and also a kind of we need the right solution for the right problem. Yeah, so this is a way for us also, as we get financing, we have access on financing to develop it in order to make a great impact. So what I want to say here is to encourage every woman owning a business. Yeah, we know that access to finance is the biggest problem, and this is an opportunity to all of us in Sub-Saharan Burkina Faso and the neighboring of Burkina Faso. Women having access to finance will do more, will make more, will do more impact. So this is very important, and I want here to encourage all those women owning businesses to go ahead for this application. So thank you very much, Angelus, for being a very good coach to me. He has been coaching me on some, financing words, financing, how to really present properly my needs, and to really talk about my need of investment. So I want here to also thank you and thank all the team of ICF. So this is what I can share with you. I give you back the line. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Kadidia, too. And we do look forward to continue working with you. Next and last but not least, I'd like to invite Virginia Sibanda, based out of Zimbabwe. She is the CEO of Val Microfinance, to just come online and share her experience. Welcome, Virginia.
Thank you very much, Angelus, and thank you for inviting me, ladies, on the platform. As Angelus has said, my name is Virginia Sibanda. I'm the founder of Val Financial Services, which is a microfinance company. Before I ventured into microfinance, my background is in banking, but I pivoted into microfinance for the simple reason that rural communities were not properly served by commercial banks. So I've got a passion of improving rural communities, and therefore for me, what made a lot of sense was to pivot into microfinance. So since 2010, I started Val Financial Services, and through our intervention as a business, we have reached out to about 22,000 individuals through loan products. However, my interface with ACF came at a point where the business was very at its low ebb because of COVID, because of what had happened in Zimbabwe. But ACF came to our rescue, if I can use that term, where we were supported financially. Everybody needs financial assistance. But for me, I want to also talk a little bit more about the technical assistance that we give, because most of the time as women entrepreneurs, we feel that what we are lacking is a finance, and if only we can get finance, then our business will manage them. But ladies, I want to let you know that technical support is very fundamental and very important for us to run businesses that are resilient. So the technical support that I got from ACF, despite the fact that I'd been in business for a long time, they enabled me to run a more resilient business. And this was at the height of COVID. And the fact of the matter is that we managed to survive COVID. We managed to start our project under ACF through COVID period. So this is a testimony of the amount of work that ACF provides for women entrepreneurs to guide us through managing a business, becoming a leader. As women, we have a lot of responsibilities. I'm a mother of 4. And running a business and being a mother, those are very different and conflicting things to do. But through the leadership program that I went through ACF, I was able to manage to run my family and also to grow the business. So ACF team did a fantastic job to mold us women to become better leaders in our organization and leaders who have impact to the societies that we are working for. So if any one of you who is on this platform is very passionate about impacting on other people and are not just in business for the sake of making money, just like Henry Ford says that a business that is about making money is a poor business. Ladies, if you are in this so that you can learn how to impact on other people, so that we can make Africa more sustainable, ACF are the people to work with. Like I want to just advise you ladies, you will have to be patient with the ACF project. Angela's talked to you about the process that you're going to go through to be part of this. Please don't give up, because it is that process that can define you, and that is the process that can make you know exactly what it is that you are able to do and able to achieve. As women, we are very powerful if we are provided with the resources, and this is what this program is going to do to all of you who can go through the process. Personally, I'm actually 57 years old, but I can assure you, I had young people who taught me how to be a better leader. I had young people who taught me how to just understand what it means to run a business that has got impact on other people. And this is what you're going to get if you follow through the process and apply. Please tell your sisters, tell your other people to be part of this. Those that did not manage to come to the launch today, please let the word go out there, because this is a great opportunity for us women to show what we are capable of doing. So I just want to thank Victoria and her team at ACF for one, understanding and appreciating that women, they need support. And more importantly for me as a Zimbabwean, for those that are in Zimbabwe on this plot, to also include Zimbabwe, because most of the times Zimbabwe is left out. So for that, I'm very grateful. So ladies, take this opportunity and apply to be part of this project, and do whatever it takes to make sure that you follow through the process. It might take your time. You might feel that sometimes you don't have too much time between running your businesses and being part of the project. But believe me, this will be worth your while. I hope I've spoken to some of you and you can see why it is important to be part of this wonderful process. Thank you very much to AECF and all the supporting companies that has brought this to the women around Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Virginia, and we really do appreciate your comments. We are not looking forward to building poor communities or poor businesses. We're looking forward to building businesses that are empowered. So we look forward to working with all the women across Sub-Sahara, and we believe that this program is essentially what will scale you or catapult you to the next level. We are right at the tail end of our program, and even though we are running a little bit behind schedule, I'd like to invite my colleague Jael Ahmad to run the Q&A session. So we'll take a few questions and then we will be wrapping up for today. Thank you very much, and Jael, most welcome.
Thank you so much, Angelus. I have with me a few questions, but before perhaps, is there anyone who would like to voice her question? Maybe we can take one question from the platform, and then we can respond to at least 3 questions that have come on the chat. Anyone? Okay, I see one hand I see one hand. Kindly go ahead. I'm not able to see your name. Kindly go ahead. Okay. So Angelas, we have questions, and so the question I see is, one, what are the dates for application? And Angelas, maybe you can just clarify that once again. I know you've already talked about it in your presentation. The other question is, when are we scaling to Uganda? And again, Angelas, you can also speak to that. And then the other question is, what are the interests related to the financing that we are talking about? So once again, we have those 3 questions. So Angelas, if you could just respond to them, or anyone in the panel.
Thank you very much, Jael. And I'll take all three questions. To the first question on the dates for application. After today, we are essentially accepting applications. And we were going to have rolling applications over the next month. So between today all the way to the 2nd of December this year, we'll be accepting applications. So, and just to reiterate here, it's a two-stage application process. So the first one is it's an eligibility test. So we will ask you specific questions, and after you submit that, if you are eligible, we will then send you a second application. And this second application is going to give us an idea of how investor ready you are, so that as we admit you into the platform, we have a very good understanding of where you're at and what support or services you require. I hope that addresses the question. Next, when are we coming to Uganda? I'd say very soon. And I think what you'll realize in our eligibility criteria is that whereas our focus countries remain the 9 that I highlighted earlier, we are open to receive applications from across Sub-Sahara. So if you are a woman-owned, woman-led company that meets the eligibility criteria, except for the country, please feel free to send in your application and we will consider them separately. And last is on the interest rates. And earlier, as I mentioned, we'll be working with financial institutions across Sub-Sahara. And the benefit of having partners is being able to come and say, whereas we may not be too flexible, or we may not even be able at this point to determine what interest rates would look like. We've been working with AFDB under their FOA program, which has also co-funded the Guarantee for Growth program, which essentially enables financial institutions across Sub-Sahara to understand what are the needs. And once they understand the needs, they are then given financing that can help them to guarantee the loans that you're going to receive. So I cannot define what the interest rates are going to be, but I think as we progress and as you engage in the program, that will become very clear as you engage the financial institutions. Thank you, Jael. I hope that addresses the questions.
Yes. Thank you so much, Angelus. And so I'll add 2 more questions before we close. And one is, what is the procedure for applying? And then what are the areas or sectors for financing? And then lastly, shall we finance startups? But also around issues of who is eligible to apply, or what are the eligible businesses that can apply? Maybe Angela, you can just speak something to that before we close.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe just to start with the process. Excuse me. So we have a 2-stage application process for the reason that this is an investment readiness program. So right from the beginning, we want to understand where you're at. So the initial application form is just going to be all about, do you meet the eligibility? But after that, and as part of also now the program, we're going to start with screening on how investor ready are you. So I had initially put up a screen in terms of where you land when you hit that application, link. So as you fill the form, you'll start by registering an account. So as you hit the link, create an account, and then you will get access to the application form. Thereafter, we will review the application forms based on the eligibility, and then invite those who are eligible to submit the pre-screen on investment readiness. I hope that is now clearer. In terms of the sectors we are going to work with, we will initially start with businesses in the agribusiness sector, renewable energy, financial services. We'll have education, we'll have water and sanitation, we'll have tech-driven businesses, whether they are cross-cutting in the sectors that I've mentioned or in different sectors. We are happy to see your applications. And last but not least is healthcare. So we look forward to seeing those businesses in our portfolio. On to the last question, are we financing or supporting startups? And here I'd like to maybe say that for us, it goes back to how exactly do you define the startup? I've seen startups that have hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenues as they prove their concept. So I'd like to say, even if you're a startup from your own definition, but you've been operating for 3 years and you have revenues of over $100,000, we are very happy to receive your application. So Jael, I hope that clarifies.
Thank you so much, Angelas. And there are many people asking about the link for application, and that my colleague Gladys is also on the platform trying to respond to all your questions. So I think some of those questions will be responded there. Alice is also asking, when are we going to Rwanda? Once again, Alice, I think it would also be important also to get in touch with us for more clarification. One of the things I know is that the AFAWA program is targeting many countries. However, ACF is targeting as the first cohort these 9 countries, and we can be able to provide linkages with other business accelerators in the other countries where we are not able to do this program especially this year and next year. Yeah, so in terms of Alex, can we finish, Angelas?
Yes, all right. So thank you very much, Jael, for managing the Q&A session. And I think as we wrap up, what is most important is for you to reach out. If you have questions, if you have areas that you feel that are not clear, we are going to be engaging on social media, on different platforms over the next month as the application is open. And please, we look forward to just answering all your questions. We will provide our contacts on screen, and I think I can call it a launch. So thank you very much to our audience online. Thank you very much to our panelists, our speakers for today. Thank you for the women in our portfolio who've come to share the experience of working with ACF. So without further ado, I welcome you to submit your applications. Thank you very much, and do have a lovely morning, lovely afternoon, depending on where you're at across Sub-Sahara. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.